drip, that's water, call that boss. You try my squad and they gon' be in cost. You better be prepared to take a loss. I left my enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce, no it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. No it ain't sauce, no it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce, it ain't sauce.
Hello people, it's your boy JesterBell's, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I will be reacting to a YouTuber named JesterBell, who is claiming the new Wolverine game butchers iconic characters. Now, if you didn't just watch my previous video where I reacted to Caboose's response to people online saying negative stuff, go check that out real fast. Actually a good video, and shout out to Caboose. I love watching his videos where he gives gaming. He does gaming reviews and he gives us gaming details and insiders to what's going on. That's usually, like I said in that video, that's my main source and my main guide for who I watch for that type of stuff. And he's really good. So definitely check him out. But this time around, instead of watching someone that's, defending some of those hates, we're going to be watching someone that's with all the hate. So we're going to see what she has to say. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about her and a lot of the crazy stuff she be talking about. Like I'm already looking at some crazy stuff over here with her saying the Supergirl movie, it really is Supergirl really a movie for girls? And then I see something about Zendaya exhaustion. Yeah, so it seems like she does say some crazy stuff. And I have seen her say a couple of stuff like about Star Trek and about the Batman movie. So I like little snippets of not full stuff. But this would be my first time actually fully reacting to one of her stuff. So let's see what she thinks about the Wolverine game and what's the major problems in this game. So without further ado, we will start this video in a 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, JesterBell aka Female Frodo Baggins here. And I feel the need to go on a slight bit of a rant today because I'm a huge X-Men fan. X-Men is my favorite faction of Marvel. And for years, because of the rights issues transferring these characters from Fox as they were acquired by Disney, and, they had to settle contracts and all of that, we didn't get any kind of media with them. So now we're finally having them come back in full force, where there's multiple video adaptations of the X-Men. Heaven help us, they're going to try. There's multiple So now we're finally having them come back in full force, where there's media with them. So now we're finally that we didn't get any kind of media with them. So now we're finally having them.
How long ago was this video? I do know I'm a little late. This was a day ago? Okay. You didn't get any media of it. Okay.
Come back in full force,
Okay.
where there's multiple video adaptations of the X-Men. Heaven help us, they're going to try to bring some of them into the MCU, which I'm not happy about. But obviously I have my feelings on the X-Men 97 cartoon, but on the one hand,
that is what I saw, that she was. I did see something where she was claiming like X-Men. She was saying X-Men 97 is trash and doesn't do good adaptation of the X-Men comics or shows the X-Men at their best, which I completely disagree. I did see something like that. I could be wrong. I did see something about her talking down on X-Men 97.
really like.
Well, actually, no. She just said that she has her mixed feelings on it, so that is true.
Seeing these X-Men characters finally utilized again, because I've missed them and I want to see the fandom discuss them, and I want to have other people to share these characters with, so it's not just me reading old comics that a lot of people aren't keeping up with anymore. But
okay.
I really hate how the multiple ways where it's kind of a monkey's paw. Like, you wish to see your favorite characters used more, but them being used more in the modern day means that they're going to be more often than not used badly. So there's this new Wolverine game coming out by Insomniac, and once again, Insomniac, the very first Spider-Man game they made, that was like one of the best experiences with a video game that I have ever had, period. And it came out in the most perfect time in my life. And then Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Man 2 game that they made, I never even finished playing that game. I wasn't engaged with the story, switching.
So, you wasn't engaged with the story. Okay. You wasn't engaged with the story. Before you say anything else about Marvel Spider-Man 2, I want you to go back and I would want you to go back and play that game. That's what I would want you to do before you say anything else. The story of Marvel, everyone can have their opinion, everyone can have their taste, but me personally, I just don't feel like Marvel Spider-Man 2's story is so much is that much insufferable that you can't finish the game. I don't feel like that's the case. I don't feel like it's that insufferable that you can't finish the game. And I played some very insufferable games before. So I'm even then I still made it through. Like I just need to, like 007 Legends, I don't like that game, but I still made it through. I don't think Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is that bad to the point where you can't finish the game. The gameplay is still fun. The back and forth between Peter and Miles is still great. There are some still really good story beats in the game, especially the beginning of the game with that epic fight scene with Sandman. So I'm not going to. There's no way you just didn't finish the game. The game story cannot be that insufferable to the point where you can't finish it.
Back,
That's
so
just
that
my
one
opinion.
second I was asked to really invest in Miles Morales, the next second I'm being asked to really invest in Peter Parker. It felt like the
I
story
mean, that was the purpose of the game. The game was about Peter and Miles' development. It was basically about both of them in a way. Yes, the story at times was still heavily focused on Peter because it is his game and his full-on story, but Miles is there too. So you do get like some stuff about him as well, which that makes sense. You got a game about Peter, you got a game about Miles, then you got a game about both of them. Yes, Peter is still technically the main character, but Miles does get some shine. That makes sense. How is that a problem?
was moving along at a snail's pace. I did not
Snail's pace? Snail's pace? I don't know about that.
enjoy the gameplay at all. I did not
You do not enjoy the gameplay? Oh, okay. Okay.
enjoy how it tried so hard to be like realistic. Most of the time I wasn't
Marvel Spider-Man 2 tried so hard to be realistic. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that criticism? It tried to be realistic. So then what did Miles Morales and Spider-Man 1 do? Because when Miles Morales came out, the whole purpose when the PS5 dropped and they was dropping Miles Morales, the whole purpose was these is about to be the best graphics ever. Like Miles Morales about to be the game right off the gate. Like that was one of the main points of those games. Like was the graphics looking really good and giving you like that like Uncharted type of feel like experience. Like how is Marvel Spider-Man 2 trying so hard to be realistic, but the other two games didn't?
even Spider-Man. I was just walking around doing random tasks, going to school, fairs, going to an amusement park, all of that. It wasn't fun, and
That wasn't fun. Yeah, your taste. Something is wrong with your taste. I don't know what to say about going to the Coney Island was boring. That's something that you shouldn't do in the game. I mean, that's something that Spider-Man has done in the comics. You say you're a comic book reader. He has done that. He's done it in TV shows. You can watch Spectacular Spider-Man. He went to Coney Island before and just hung with his friends for a bit until Doc Ock came. I mean, that's something that Spider-Man does or any character hero does. You get like a taste of what Peter Parker's or any like hero's normal life is like before or after they're a superhero. So I mean, I don't see how that was necessarily a problem, but okay.
also I just came to see all of the game represented in the face of Mary Jane Watson and how
Oh, there it is. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Mary Jane. The funny thing about Mary Jane is that y'all talk so bad about her in those games, but she's not even. She's not even like it's so weird to me that we talk so down on Mary Jane, but we don't get on anything. We don't get on anything that Peter does. Like what Peter does is everything that Peter Parker does, even with the Raimi movies. Everything Peter Parker does is justifiable. But when it comes to Mary Jane, whether it be these games, the comics, the movie, like it's always a problem with Mary Jane, and what she does is just non-justifiable.
they intentionally uglified her.
Oh, you're going there. You're going uglify her. How did they uglify her? She looks exactly the same. And once again, the same thing I say with God of War and Luffy, Luffy. Like, what? Why are we? Why are you? First of all, why are we trying to compare? Why are we trying to act like how a character looks in real life in comparison to a game graphics? Why are we trying to compare that? Like, stop comparing that. She did not look ugly in the game. She looked fine. She looked perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with how she looked. You could say, oh, because Peter Parker and Mary Jane are getting older, they might have looked like they aged a little bit. Yeah, I could say that. But other than that, no, she looked fine in the game. There was nothing wrong with her character design, face or hair-wise in the game.
And I find that very, very insulting.
Why do y'all all... I'm sorry, I keep pausing. Why do y'all all want characters to goon on? Y'all just want characters to goon on. I swear that's all y'all want. That's literally all y'all want. Like, y'all want every character to look as super sexual as possible. Like, that's all y'all care about. Y'all don't actually care about anything else. Like, Mary Jane looked fine in that game. There was nothing wrong with Mary Jane.
I'm going to talk more about that, about how that is not, for a second, that is not just fighting against the over-sexualization and objectification of women. This is...
what is it? So what is
very sinister thing that I think is happening to female characters and them being intentionally warped and uglified.
What character is intentionally warped and uglified? Other than Mary Jane, who I don't think was intentionally warped and uglified, how that she looks in the game is actually how the actress pretty much looks in real life. It just looks different because you're comparing a video game to real life. But I don't see how she looks terrible in the game. What was uglified? What other games uglified their characters?
But anyway, Spider-Man 2 was a colossal disappointment. But then
it was not a colossal disappointment. Like I said, go watch my video with Caboose. Caboose literally went through everything and explained all the achievements, all the awards, all the sales that Marvel Spider-Man 2 had won and was nominated for and had got. So yeah, what she's saying, a colossal disappointment is just objectively not true. Like, it's just not true. You can go Google it. It didn't fail. It didn't fail. Like, even like if you, other than like maybe like some YouTubers, if you actually look at like every like ratings, even IGN, they gave the game an 8 out of 10. No one really ranked the game like awful or terrible. So whatever she's saying is just not true. Like, it's just generally not true.
And here we get this Wolverine game from Insomniac. And once again, I want to be so excited. And
you have nothing to say about Miles Morales? The Miles Morales game? Interesting.
Getting a little bit closer to the game, we hear that characters like Jean Grey and or more obscure characters, like I think most people know Leech, but like Skids is a character I know from the comics. She appeared in this latest trailer. Like, this Wolverine game is an opportunity for people to become immersed in the X-Men world again.
Immersed in the X-Men world again? What? Why are you just like? I don't know if I'm tripping, but like, why are you kind of like? Are you just like? Why are you kind of like just disregard? I'm not saying Deadpool and Wolverine was perfect, but that technically was in a way an X-Men movie. Like, why are you disregarding that movie? Why are you fully disregarding X-Men '97? Like, those are still like X-Men medias. Like, they count. That's people getting involved in those things. In the world of the X-Men. Like, why are you just acting like as if this game is the only like this is the first thing we've seen in years? Why are you making it seem that way?
Which is why I've been waiting for once again, because yeah, they're starting to appear in more games and stuff, but I just want more of it where people can understand how great.
Or are you specifically talking about games? If you're specifically talking about games, then okay, I get you, because we have not really gotten anything other than like Marvel Rivals. You haven't really got anything with the X-Men in the game. But if you're talking about like overall media, like we had like a bunch of stuff. Like, we haven't, like, there's been a bunch of stuff involving the X-Men. Regardless of how good or bad it is, we had stuff that involved the X-Men.
Yeah, they're starting to appear in more games and stuff, but I just want more of it where people can understand how great these characters are. So imagine my disdain at seeing the changes that they are already making to this, because once again, Spider-Man 2 got really, really warped. Sweet Baby Inc. became involved, and
Sweet Baby Inc. was partially involved in that game. Was definitely partially involved. I think he was definitely partially involved in that game. But the game wasn't nothing. The small things that were added did not hinder like the story or like what was going on in the game. Like if you're trying to sit there and say they would like that was the reason for why Mary Jane looked the way she was or why the story was the way it was. No, that's not why. That's not why things were the way they were. No, Mary Jane's face or how she looked. That's just the character model that they made. They just made a character model based on how the actress looked in real life. There was nothing, no problems there. Like no, story wise, what nothing really was. If you from I seen Baby Ink do some crazy stuff, but I don't. Nothing in this game really did anything to the point where like it like destroyed the game. Like I don't remember. I don't think there was anything in the game that really did that.
They made a lot of changes to make it more progressive, and we're already
What
seeing
changes?
that in
Wait, we're not even talking. Stop bringing up Spider-Man. Stop bringing up Spider-Man. What?
the game. Now, let's not beat around the bush. Let me talk about the dumbest change that has happened in this game so far. We already see race swaps, like Callisto has been race swapped.
Calypso. We talk about Zendaya. This girl right here, she making bank. She's been in every good and bad video game. Like she is making bank. She's in the Star Wars game. She's in the Wolverine game. She was in Suicide Squad. Like she making bank. This race swap. With the race swapping, I feel like with the race swapping, I really just it gets to a point where I don't feel like you always need to race swap. But if you're going through a bunch of actors and that's the actor that stands out and they're doing an amazing job and they just happen to be a different race, then it is what it is. Then it just is what it is. You know. At this point, this is the society that we live in. You know, it's going to happen. You know, either we keep fighting it, or you know, you just gotta learn to accept it.
In this game, but we already see Jean Grey because
my thing with this race swap is that was like a snippet. That was just like a quick snippet. We don't know what type of role she's going to play in the game necessarily. We don't know how she's going to be in the game. So we can't really make any judgments at all yet. We can't really make any judgments on her just yet because we don't really know anything of how she's going to be in the game.
Reveal in this game, I got to tell you, it's so disappointing where Jean Grey has just been killing it with her various looks in Marvel Rivals and then Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Everywhere we see Jean Grey, she looks stunning. And then we get this version, the American version of her, and she looks like a man.
She does? I don't think she looks like a man. What's wrong with how Jean Grey looks? Marvel, you know who makes Marvel, like really, like so literally you brought up Marvel Rivals. You just want her to look goonable. You want her to look super sexy, super sexual. That's what you want. This is the game where the X-Men don't exist yet. She's not really wearing anything. She's not wearing her traditional outfit, so which makes sense because the X-Men don't exist yet. So I don't know how. We don't really necessarily know how her and Wolverine meet, but it seems like they came across each other because he does in the gameplay trailer. You see him pick up her hair. He smells it, it's like red. So we know that he's met her before this event. But it seems like she's also trying to help out the X. She's trying to help out and save mutants as well. So eventually, I think we will get to her getting like that type of outfit, especially if the leaks were true that we're getting an X-Men game after this. So we might eventually see her in that outfit. But this is before she even joins the X-Men. So I mean, what she looks like in the game is fine. She does not look like a man. She looks perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with Jean Grey in this game, just because she doesn't look exactly like how she does in Marvel Rivals. And the people, of course, she doesn't look how she looks in Marvel Rivals. Those are two different types of games, two different graphics, and two different developers, who style their games two different ways. And like I said, she's not necessarily in the X-Men, so it doesn't even seem like she has the Phoenix. She doesn't even have the Phoenix Force. So she's not going to have any of those iconic outfits just yet.
Looks like a man or a 40-year-old woman at best. Now,
what's up with y'all? What's up with y'all and this 40-year-old woman? What's up with that? Y'all did that with Faye, now you're doing it with Jean. What is up? What's up with that? What do y'all have against 40-year-old women? What is this? What's up with that? What is up with that?
That Insomniac was strategic with this. She's not uglified enough to really cause a controversy, but she's
not uglified enough to really cause a controversy. But even if she was as ugly as you say she is, what does that have to do with the story? What would that have to do with the game? Like, how would that mess up the story? Yeah, like how does this like affect like the story of the game? That's all I want to know. Like, how does this affect anything?
Still doesn't look like Jean Grey.
If you ask me, she kind of looks like how Jean Grey, like face wise and hair wise, she kind of looks like how Jean Grey looked in the original X-Men movies. If you ask me, I think she looks fine. I think she looks pretty good. I don't really have a problem with how she looks in the game, but whatever.
None of her feminine features. She doesn't have any feminine curves. None of that can be featured. Her face is very square.
How would you know? She's wearing a trench coat. How would you? You can't even. What? You can barely. Okay.
And they uglified her. Now, once again, I don't think that they went far enough with Jean Grey.
What is so ugly about her? She's an older Jean Grey. She's an older. It's like she's an older Jean Grey. That's what's like. She kind of reminds me of Jean Grey from the original X-Men movies. She's an older Jean Grey. I guess to kind of bounce off of Wolverine. What's wrong with that? I don't really see anything wrong with that. She looks fine. She looks like an average redhead. Like I don't know what's wrong with that. What does Jean Grey supposed to look like? What is she like? Not body wise, because we know what y'all want her to look like body wise. Face and hair wise, what does Jean Grey supposed to look like? Mind you, this is Jean Grey before she joins the X-Men, so she's not going to have her iconic outfit. She's not going to have the Phoenix Force. This is before all of that. This is completely before all of that. So what is she supposed to generally look like? I'm like so curious.
In order to cause a massive controversy in the way that some others have just gone viral, but it's really bad. And seeing people talking about how this is the year of Jean Grey and showing her adaptations in X-Men.
Like in X-Men 97, she looks fine. In this comic, she looks fine. These are all different adaptations of the character. Honestly, these two basically look the same if you ask me. It's just literally you have two different art styles. Excuse me. And in Marvel Rivals, she's literally the Jean Grey that has the Phoenix Force. So of course she's gonna look like this. Like, and I love how you specifically pulled up this specific skin and not her like base design in the game. I love how you specifically pulled this up.
In 97 and in Marvel Cosmic Invasion and Marvel Rivals, it's like you just look at them together and you see the difference between how a female character like Jean Grey, who is supposed to be stunning, she was a fashion model at one point in the comics. She's got Wolverine and
she can she can still pull Wolverine. Who's to say this version of Jean can't still pull that what you just said doesn't even matter. Who's to say that she can't still pull Wolverine and Cyclops? She's not like you're making it seem like she is like a witch. Like she is hideous. Like she is hideous. Like no, she's not even that bad. She's not look as ugly as y'all perceive her to be. And I'm gonna keep saying it. Even if she did, how does this make the story bad? How does this affect anything?
Cyclops and Angel at one point, all fighting over her. Anything? This is not that character. This is not the character that multiple male characters fight over in.
I can still see them fighting over her. And this is Insomniac's reinventive and new interpretation of the story. Of the X-Men story. Or Wolverine story for that matter. They're going to come up with their own thing while still using some of the lore and comics that they have, but they're going to use it to create their own story, and that's fine.
The comics, like Jean Grey becomes a massive point of contention. You've got Cyclops and Wolverine fighting over her, while Emma Frost is angry that like as she says, she still rates below a corpse. Even when Jean isn't there, she can't compete with her.
Are you just trying to show that you like? Are you just trying to show that you read the comics or something? Like I don't get like what does that have to do with anything? She doesn't look bad here. Like what is the purpose of that?
Like that's Jean Grey. Jean Grey, and this is true for a lot of female characters in Marvel, she isn't even supposed to be just a regular attractive woman. No, she is exceptional. And this is how you present her in the game. And you once again just see the stark contrast between that of how Japanese and Chinese and Eastern game companies treat their female characters and how
so you, like I said, you just want her to look goonable. You just want her to look super, you just want her to be super sexified. That's all you want. That's what you want. You say it's not about that. But in reality it kind of is. Because you're saying she's not showing off. You can't see her massive titties. You can't see her ass, her butt poking out. Like that's what you want. You want her to be super sexual. That's what you want. And if that's the type of art style and how you want your characters to look, that's fine. But that doesn't mean just because it's not that doesn't mean the game is going to be bad because of it. But you want her to be goonable. You want her to look that way. That's what you want.
Americans do versus even a cartoon.
And to say like Americans do that, like that's such a crazy, like, come on now. Like we can probably go through a bunch of other games and or media where there's a female character and she looks really, really good or looks super sexified. Like, come on, stop it.
X-Men 97 that is trying to evoke the art style of the show in the 90s, how that depicts Jean Grey as an actual woman versus this, where the male characters, and I will say this, I don't like the trend in American games where everything has to look real. Like, even the male characters, if you compare the American versions of these characters to, the Eastern versions, you can see it there too. Like, prioritizing realism with these characters actually limits them.
So now we're at this point where, now we don't want games to look real. We don't want games to look realistic. We don't want games to have realism. Well, look real. We don't want that no more. That this is where we're at. Because I keep hearing this complaint over and over again now. So now we don't want games to look real. We don't want them to look that way. Because before the complaint was, oh, games look too video gamey. They don't look real. They don't look like a movie. Now we're complaining that it looks too real. We're trying to look too real. Now that's the complaint. Okay.
What they can do with these designs, and it makes it so much more unappealing. But at least when I'm seeing the male characters in these games, I'm never saying that doesn't look like a man. But when I see the woman, clearly things have been altered. Clearly things have been changed in order to make them look less beautiful. I see that with all the female characters.
Jean Grey in the game looks pretty. She's not ugly. I don't see what I want to view. Sometimes I want to view what some of y'all haters do. I really do. Because like I don't see, like, she's ugly. She's ugly? Like, I don't see that at all. I generally don't see that at all.
This game. And it's angering because it is a bold-faced lie to say that this is just fighting against sexualization. Not being able to depict women as actual women who have curves and have certain features to their skin and their face.
How do you genuinely know that? She's wearing an outfit that's covering up pretty much all of her body. How do you know that? You're upset that she's not wearing a form-fitting tight suit that allows for all of her assets to poke and stick out. That's literally all that this is. That's literally all that this is. She looks fine. There's nothing wrong with how she looks. It's cool. It's cool. Like I get it. I really do. Because like even in the movies, she doesn't have the actress who is very beautiful. She doesn't have, especially you should definitely, if you watch Golden Eye, it's very beautiful. I would say she doesn't have the biggest ass or the biggest titties or has the most perfect figure, but she was still pretty. She still looked good. She still looked good in the outfit, especially in black spandex. She still looked good and fit the part. There was nothing wrong with that. And here, this is Jean. Like I said, this is Jean Grey before the X-Men. Literally before the X-Men. She doesn't have that outfit yet. She's going to probably eventually get it. She doesn't have that outfit yet or those hairstyles yet. She's wearing a trench coat. She's wearing an outfit like a undersuit that is not really revealing or not really tight fitting. So you're not going to see all of that yet. Eventually, we might get there, but how she looks in the game and what she's wearing is nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. And literally, how does this affect the story or make it bad?
Being able to do that is not fighting over sexualization.
Okay,
it means that
we need to get through this because I'm only 7 minutes.
You are actually attacking the way that women inherently look. You are attacking the female look, and it is done intentionally. Now, is it done to subvert gender norms? Is it done as an outright attack on the mostly male fan base of video games that they know are going to complain about this so they can say that it's just them being mad that they can't goon to these characters? Or are there women who work behind the scenes on these characters, women who don't feel good about themselves, who don't feel good about the way they look, and they want to take down the way other women look, so they do this? I think it's a little bit of both, but I gotta tell you, if it's about, subverting gender norms and making everything androgynous, I still don't see any question that the male characters in these video games are men. They're not trying to feminize the male characters, so I err to the side that there are women behind the scenes on these video games where I do think that it is definitely attack on the mostly male audience for these video games. Once again,
so is this video gonna basically just be you're just going to be ranting about them so far we basically just been talking about that they don't have any real X-Men media. Hopefully I got that right. You don't have any real X-Men media. This is going to be the once in a blue moon type of lifetime where we got something involving the X-Men, which is just, that's not true, but okay. Unless you're just talking about video games. We bring up the race swap, which in some way I kind of see it. I get it. I get it because you want the characters to look how they look in the comic books. You want it to be accuracy. You want it to have accuracy, as much accuracy as possible. I get that. I completely understand that. I completely understand that. But it could also be on the other side where they went through a bunch of casting, or maybe this person, the creative director, was just like, I saw this girl. She may not fully look like the character, but she acted the part and did an amazing job, so I'm going to hire her. So that could also be the other end. I don't think everything always has to be the darkest, like, oh, they just didn't want to cast a white woman. They wanted to freaking make it, they wanted to race swap everyone. Like, I don't think it always has to be, like, it's always like that. But I do think maybe it could be they just found an actress that acted the part. But I do get wanting things to be accurate. And then you're bringing up Jean Grey's ugliness as if, like, saying that she's ugly, so ugly in the game that it's going to be terrible for women. Like, I don't think it's that deep. I don't generally think it will get that deep. I think people are going to buy this game, play the game, and still enjoy it regardless of how Jean Grey looks or not. I mean, she does not look like a man. She is not so ugly to the point where the game is unplayable or she's hitting, like, you can't even look at her. No.
It's not about fighting over sexualization. It's just about, taking away.
But you say that, you say that, but in a way it kind of is, because she doesn't like, her assets aren't sticking out, or her face isn't because her face isn't as young looking. Is that what you're like? She doesn't look as young looking as she should, which I don't agree with that.
All the feminine features of these characters, but I think the main thing, I definitely think that there are these jealous, ugly, I'll say it, you are ugly inside and out if you think like this. These jealous women behind the scenes who do not want any iota of attractiveness in these female characters. They don't want them to have any of the feminine features that make women inherently attractive. And so that's why you get these more manly and androgynous looks for these female characters. And it's really angering when
I want to do something here. I'm not going. I want to do something. I want to know to squash all of this. To generally squash all this. What does the actual actress, look like in person? Let's see what she looks like in person. And if she looks just like that, which I'm pretty sure she probably does. Excuse me, because most of the time the only thing Insomniac changes is the hair. Like, and that's like for most games. Like most of the time, really all they change is the hair. Unless it's a character that's supposed to genuinely overall look different, or it's a character that looks like a monster or something. But like the James Bond game, for example, if you look at the Dexter actor in real life, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. If you look at him in real life, the only difference between how he looks in the game and in real life is his hair. Like other than that, he looks exactly the same. Oh, and the scar on his face. Other than that, he looks exactly the same. So honestly, I genuinely feel like how the actress that's playing Jean Grey here, I feel like she probably genuinely looks the same. They just probably must have done some stuff to her hair. I don't think they changed her face because they didn't change Mary Jane's face in the other games because she looks exactly the same. It's a video game, so the graphics it's a video game graphic. Like it's going to look a little different.
Once again, to see a character like Jean Grey or like Mystique, as we've gotten little teases of her treated this way, because you understand it's not a noble.
I don't care. I definitely am not agreeing with that. Mystique does not look ugly in the game. No, you're not gonna. No.
Practice. It is actually a very vicious, vile thing that is happening behind the scenes to these female characters, and how they are intentionally taking attractive actresses that they hire to model these characters. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name for a minute, but Karen Page from Daredevil. They recently.
Here we go. What did I just say? You're comparing, mind you. You're comparing a live image. You're comparing a realistic image where she's at an event. She has makeup on. She has these amazing these high-level photographers taking pictures of her with all this great lighting. So of course she's going to look beautiful right here. In comparison to a video game, which is not real life but has realism in it. And in this moment, she's waking up after pretty much basically dying, and she's supposed to look distraught. She's supposed to look like she has went through some stuff. Of course, this picture is going to look better. Like, of course. This is a professional headshot. A professional picture compared to a video game still. A video game still where she's supposed to look like she's been through a war. Like, come on, man. Really?
Did it with her. They will intentionally mangle the faces of these.
She looks exactly the same, bro. She looks exactly the same. It's just one is an actual picture with professional lighting, and the other is a video game. Like, come on, man.
Actresses, as they're CGIing them, which is also why they look so uncanny, because they don't actually match the faces of these actresses.
Well, then you come up with some technology where they can look as good as they do in real life. How about that? How about you do that?
And I just think it's sick. I think it's a sick thing to do. And I don't like seeing it in a Wolverine video game.
And just for a side note, that God of War game is going to be awesome. I don't care what no one says. That God of War game is going to be awesome. The wife of Kratos is going to be kicking ass. That game is going to be awesome. I don't care what no one says. I don't care who the main character was. That game is going to be awesome.
And like what happened with Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2, it takes the fun out of it for me. And I don't feel like...
How does that take the fun out of you? How? She is not unbearably... she is not that unbearable to look at. She's not. She is not. She's not ugly in that game. Far from it. She is not ugly. Stop it. The actress, how she looks in real life, is how they did her in the game. The only thing that was slightly changed was her hair. That was it. You can Google that. That's really the only thing that changes. Why are you genuinely trying to make it seem like she was so hideous? Mary Jane is so hideous in that game. I just couldn't finish the game. I couldn't play it. Oh my god. Freaking Jean Grey is so ugly. Every time I see her, I just have to turn the game off. I can't look at her. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. They are not ugly.
I am being respected as a fan and what I want to see from these characters, because normal women want to see attractive women in games too. They want to see women who actually look like women. And that is not what Jean Grey is supposed to look like. Jean Grey, once again,
she looks like a mature adult woman. That's what she looks like. That's what she looks like.
At one point has multiple male characters fighting over her for decades. This is not the Phoenix.
Wait. Now that I'm thinking about it, you keep saying that. What is your fixation with them just fight? Like, is that all you like? That's all you care about? You just want Wolverine? You just want a super over empowering pretty woman just so the men can fight over her? Is that all you care about? Because you keep bringing it up. You keep saying it. Like, is that all you care about?
In this game, but that is not even the most egregious thing. Let us set aside, race swaps and that are happening in this game, and the uglification of Jean Grey, which once again is so offensive. This is the thing that really breaks me on the game. Sit down, wait till you hear this. So we got some details on the lore of this game, and we got something very confusing. We heard that for whatever reason, in this version, in the Insomniac Wolverine verse, the X-Men do not exist. The X-Men do not exist.
Okay.
But instead, Wolverine is a part of a team called Team X that, fights to save mutants. And I'm like, why? Is there some sort of rights issue going on here? Like,
I thought you said you read comics. Team X is a team that exists in the comics. It was the team Wolverine was on before he joined the X-Men. I thought you read comics. Matter of fact, I thought you all this X-Men media that you inherit. X-Men Origins Wolverine. I said this in the Caboose video. Like, X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was Team X. That was Team X. You know what I'm saying? For anyone I love the Hulk versus movies, the Hulk versus stuff. Team X was in that movie. When it was Hulk versus Wolverine, Team X was in that movie. Team X was in there. And it had the same people. Sabretooth, Omega Red. Like, I thought you read comics. I thought you inhale all of this media. Like, what? I thought you know about all this media. Like, Team X is real. What do you mean a rights issue? If there were a rights issue, do you think they could even use Wolverine if there was a rights issue? If there was genuinely a rights issue, do you even think they could use Wolverine? Like, come on.
Why would you get rid of the X-Men, the team that Wolverine is supposed to be a part of?
They didn't get rid of the X-Men. I haven't seen, maybe I'm wrong, have not seen anything where they said they got rid of the X-Men. I have not seen anything where they said they got rid of X-Men. Did you ever just think that maybe this is a story where Wolverine is going on a solo adventure and then eventually he'll join, since Jean Grey's in the game, eventually they're going to band together and eventually join a group called the X-Men? You ever think that maybe this is just a solo Wolverine story and eventually this is taking place before he joins the X-Men and then eventually they join the X-Men? That could just be the case, and that's okay if they're doing it that way. What's wrong with that? Why is it such a problem that Wolverine's not in the X-Men? Because either way, I either thought maybe Wolverine, because I thought it was going to be like that anyway. That this is either a game where the X-Men either exists and Wolverine hasn't joined them yet, or Wolverine was on the X-Men, he left to go on a solo mission and then is going to come back later. That's really what I was going to get to. I was thinking either way. But if you're saying the X-Men just don't exist yet, then there's nothing wrong with that. Like, eventually they're going to exist. I think even in one of, I could be wrong, but I think even in one of the, when somebody got hacked, in one of the leaked files, I saw something about them making an X-Men game. So they're probably eventually going to get to the X-Men anyway. But either way, regardless of if that's true about the X-Men game or not, I'm pretty sure this is a story where Wolverine's going to start off by himself, and then eventually he's going to join the X-Men. What is wrong with that?
The team that his solo career was spun off of in the comics.
His solo career was spun off in the comics. I thought you read comics, sweetheart. I thought you read them. I thought you read them. I thought you read them. Wolverine was a freaking Hulk villain. Wolverine was a Hulk villain. And then he eventually became the X-Men. Like, they eventually put him in the X-Men. Like, I thought you read comics. I thought you knew all of this stuff, man. I thought you knew all of this. I'm not even a hardcore X-Men or Wolverine fan, and I know that. Like, I thought you knew that. I thought you knew all of this. Google is free. Google is free. Google it. Yeah, like, I can Google it. I can Google it for you. Was Oh, it's the first that pops up. Yes, Wolverine was originally introduced as a villain / antagonist for the Hulk. He made his first appearance in the final panel of the Incredible Hulk number 180. When did Wolverine join the X-Men? He didn't join the X-Men until May 1975 in the comic book issue Giant Size X-Men number 1. Let's see. Okay, and then what issue? But she reads comics. She reads comics. Like, Google is free. You can just look it up. Like,
why would you get rid of the X-Men and replace them with a team that has the exact same function and a lot of the same characters?
We'll replace the X-Men with Team X. Team X is already an existing team. Team X is already an existing team. Even Team X is already an existing team. And yes, Wolverine did join the X-Men, then got some spin-off comics. But either way, like, he can go on a solo adventure by himself. He's done it before. There's nothing wrong with that. And he's been with technically he was with Team X before the X-Men. Anyway, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? They never said they was replacing Team X. They never said that. I mean, they never said they was replacing the X-Men.
Called Team X. That made no sense to me until someone pointed out and I realized, oh no, this is the Jennifer Lawrence argument.
And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
For those who don't know, there has been this weird thing for years where modern day progressives are looking at the name X-Men and finding it offensive because it is not an all-inclusive name, even though there's so many women and female characters prominently featured on the X-Men. And there has been this thing for years, like, who was it? Victoria Alonso, working at Marvel, was someone who, I guess, she also took offense with the name X-Men, and she wanted it to be called the Mutants or something like that, and that's why Kevin Feige allegedly called it that for a little bit. Like, this has been a thing among modern day progressives that they feel.
Show me. I want to see those sources. I want to see. I want to personally see all of those sources. I want to see those sources. But I'm not saying what she's saying is true or not true. But what I want to see those sources. But the people that have a problem with it being called, the problem with the people calling it the X-Men, like, that's just the name of the team. Like, it never, like, all of that stuff, I promise you, all of that problem with it being called the X-Men didn't happen until now. Like, clearly, like, majority of the X-Men is, like, it's like a 50-50 women and men and women. Like, come on. It's just the name. Like, really?
But they need to get rid of the name X-Men because it's offensive. And lo and behold, that was what was assumed, that this is why they made the change. And lo and behold, Insomniac confirmed it. Insomniac Games creator-director confirms the X-Men don't exist in Wolverine, but there will be a group of mutants called Team X. It's our own
unique take on the world, and as such, we are putting it in modern times. Wait a second. The Insomiac Games creative director confirms the X-Men don't exist in Wolverine, but there will be a group of mutants called Team X. It's our own unique take on the world. As such, we are putting it in modern. So, this isn't. I don't think this is from someone else. This is not the actual like creative director saying this, because the same thing happened when someone tried to. I forgot. I reacted to someone when it came to the whole Superman and Man of Steel debate. He tried to say that Netflix. He literally tried to say that Netflix, not Netflix. Who said it? I think it was. I forgot. It was one. It was either Netflix said it or Paramount said that Superman bombed. That wanted someone in there when they was doing the deals that Superman bombed and was a massive failure, and that that's why no one picked it up or wanted to. It didn't make as much money, and that wasn't true. That's not at all word for word what he said. That's not at all what he said, and it looks like that's what's happening here. I would genuinely want to actually look up and see what he actually said. Because I do know he said the X-Men don't exist in Wolverine, but I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like this is a valuable source. Like what did he actually say? What did he actually say? Feel like he did say this in a way. It's our own unique take on the world. It is their own unique take on the world, and as such, we are putting it in modern times. They're putting Team X in modern times. But why are y'all treating Team X as if this is something that's like new? Like, there's always was a Team X.
Unique take on the world, and as such, we are putting it in modern times.
Team X is something that already existed. It's been in comics for years. Yeah, why are y'all acting like Team X is something new or that Insomiac just randomly made this, like, created this? This is something that's been already existing.
I apologize, but not really. This is the stupidest thing I have heard all year, and I watch Starfleet Academy. This is the stupidest thing that I have seen all year. And as an X-Men fan, I can't tell you how
you're not an X-Men fan. You're not an X-Men fan, because if you're an X-Men fan, you would know Team X. You would know Team X. Team what? Nowhere in that thing did it say they were replacing. It never said they were replacing. He said, "These are our own unique take on the world." He said the X-Men don't exist. He never said they was never going to exist. He just said they don't exist. That's all he said. Based on that, I will want to actually do my own research and see what he actually said, like the full like conversation and sentence that he said before I like fully comment on that. But based off of that, he didn't say that they were replacing. It doesn't say anything about replacing.
Angry this makes me, and how stupid it is. Okay, there is nothing offensive about the name X-Men. Do you want to know the origin of this name? The origin was Stan Lee wanted to call his new.
Let me before you even say that. Let me check you real quick, because I gotta use Google for a second. I gotta fact check you before you just. Actually, go ahead.
Team of mutants that he made for Marvel Comics, the Mutants. But his editors were like, yeah, that's too generic. No one knows what that is, the Mutants. So Stan Lee had to come up with a name, and since the name is the team is led by Charles Xavier, he came up with the name X-Men. Why did he come up with the name X-Men? Because he said it sounded cool. That is it. Stan Lee was not thinking of all this gendered stuff when he came up with the name X-Men. He found the name Charles Xavier, he thought of the name X-Men, and he thought that sounds cool. He was literally just having fun with the name and trying to come up with something that wasn't as generic as the mutants. So, to anyone out there, like,
Stan Lee originally intended to call them the Mutants when they debuted in 1960. However, his publisher Marvel Comics rejected the title, believing the readers would not know what a mutant was. It was often joked that he took the cowardly way out to avoid creating unique origin stories for every new hero. He needed a new name that conveyed their nature. I would have to really dig deep, but I mean, that sound in a way that sounds like Stanley. Like he was just writing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna name the X-Men. I'm just naming the X-Men because it sounds cool. But they're not. I don't think Insomniac is trying to change the name. The Team X is in the X-Men. Not in the X-Men. Team X exists already. That's the actual team. You want to look it up again? We can look this up. When did Team X first debut? Team X made their first debut in appearance in Wolverine number 48, November 1991. Okay. The members include Wolverine, Sabretooth, Maverick, Silver Fox, Mastodon, and John Ray. Okay. Did Wolverine join Team X before the X-Men? Yes, Wolverine was a member of Team X, and later the Canadian government's Weapon X program decided decades before he joined the X-Men. Right there. So, Team X existed based off of that. It seems Team X existed since not the 90s. So, you trying to say that they replaced the Team X is replacing the X-Men is just wild. For someone that says they read comics and they love the X-Men.
Tori Alonso or Kevin Feige, who at one point was considering just calling these characters the mutants.
Well, I need to. I'm not going to keep going on Google, and so I would need to do my own research for that because I don't remember Kevin Feige ever saying. I don't remember him saying that, but if he did, then
the reason
but
why
he didn't change. It hasn't been changed. They're still the X-Men, so
they were not called that is that they were searching for a name that would not be so generic. Once again, there is
from what I looked up, they said no one. The reason why he changed it, one of the reasons why it was changed to X-Men was literally because them calling it the mutants, like no one would know what a mutant was. That was one of the things I saw. I would have to do it. Doesn't fully. It gives like a brief description of it. I would have to go into depth.
Original name that was supposed to be any kind of.
But to what she's talking about, she's just objectively wrong. Like she's just wrong. There's no. The Team X was already existing. Wolverine was on Team X before the X-Men before he even joined the X-Men or before the X-Men even existed. So you can't sit here and say that Team X is replacing the X-Men because that's just not true. That's not what's happening here.
Offense or exclusionary thing. Now, you will find it if you actually read X-Men comics that there are little jabs because Claremont especially wanted to write female characters when he came in and wrote the team. And Jubilee makes a joke in a comic like, why is it called X-Men if it's all girls? Makes a joke.
I don't get it. The folks I followed here were like all gals, so how come they call themselves X-Men? Unless two totally girls. Holy moly! Cute God.
Joke in a comic like, why is
this is just one panel? I would need to see the full. I would need to see the full panel.
It's called X-Men if it's all girls. Now, I am perfectly fine with making little jabs like that about that. Believe it or not, if you've read the comics, female characters are actually very, very prominent in the X-Men. But while I'm fine with a tiny little jab about good-natured jabs about that, like that, I can't even talk anymore. This has ruined my brain. While I'm fine with a little jab here and there. Understand, X-Men does not have to be exclusionary. Human. Woman. We have words in our vocabulary that use the word man or men at the end or at the beginning, like mankind, to encapsulate everyone. It is not excluding anyone.
I'm pretty sure Insomniac knows that. I don't think Team X is trying to replace the X-Men. I'm sorry, sweetheart. You're going so deep into something that doesn't even need to be this deep. Like, you're going too far deep. Like, Wolverine, I literally looked it up. Wolverine joined Team X, which, in a way, it was in the movie, technically. It was in the movie. It's in the Hulk versus. It's in the comics. And in those comics, it stated, when I looked it up, that technically Team X was before the X-Men even existed. So, if you ask me, it seems like they're doing a game where Wolverine is on Team X and is searching for mutants, and then eventually he'll join the X-Men.
Looking out or overlooking anyone. It's
you getting this based on that one little comment and that one little post. It never said that they were replacing the X-Men. Never. In that post, I would need to do more fact checks, but it never said they were replacing the X-Men. That is something you just came up off your brain.
Just how vocabulary works. So the name X-Men can encapsulate both men and women. It is not an offense. And once again, the reason Stan Lee came up with the name for the team is simply because he thought it sounded cool and he needed a name that wasn't generic to sell the team. Now, which is also what kind of makes it dumb from these people's end, because, whether you're, once again, Victoria Alonso wanted it to just be called the Mutants, you are going back to the original problem with calling them the Mutants. It's generic. Calling it Team X is generic. Now,
that's the name of the... Forget it.
Now, this is intolerably stupid. I hate it so much that these people, I thought we were done with this. I thought that Jennifer Lawrence got made fun of for her little line in Dark Phoenix. And
that line, I would have to rewatch the movie, but that line, I feel like that line was used. Yeah, I didn't like it when she said that. The reason why I didn't like it when she said that line, because she act in that movie, from what I remember, she acts as if she played an important role, or she does a lot in the film, and for her to say the women save a lot around here, I was like, you don't do that. That was the problem that I had with that line. It had nothing to do with at all about what you're talking about, or about it being women, like we're forgetting that women are in the X-Men. Like, it had nothing to do with that. It was the context of her trying to make it seem like she actually did something on the team, and then literally after that, she freaking gets killed by freaking Jean Grey. Like, that was the problem. I think most people had with it. Like, it had nothing to do with the X-Men name. I could be wrong, but I don't. At least that's not what my problem was with that.
Everyone agreed it's really silly to take offense by the name X-Men and feel the need to change it. But apparently, the people at Insomniac...
You're trying to say Insomniac did that because they take offense to the name X-Men? That's not what it is. There's a team called Team X. Team X. You read comics. You should know that. Why are you making it seem like this is a made-up team? Like, this is not a made-up team. I don't know if you're rage baiting, but Team X exists. Team X, X-Force, those are other teams. They exist in Marvel, in the X-Men lore. Why are you making it seem like this is a made up team they just came up with? I was like, well, we're just gonna come up with Team X because we don't like Storm, we don't like Jubilee, we don't like any of the females. We're just gonna come up with Team X, and we don't like the name because it doesn't show, it just says men, it doesn't say women. No, that's not at all what it is. And even if Team X was something that was just created by Insomniac, just randomly created by Insomniac, even if it was, how is this a problem? The game takes place before Wolverine joins the X-Men, and Wolverine is on a team that is trying to save mutants, and he runs into, based on the gameplay, he runs into Jean Grey. So that should be something to let you know that he is eventually probably going to join the X-Men to some capacity.
And the Sweet Baby Inc. people who have become involved with this game, apparently they are...
When you find where the Sweet Baby Inc. people have been involved in this game, I want to know. Find that, please.
still of that mindset that the name
Team
X-Men
like,
is not
X is a team. I
inclusive
don't know
enough,
what
and
she's
so they
talking
need to
about.
change it.
Team
And
X
there
is a
is
team.
literally no other reason for them to do it other than they say fitting it within the modern times. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you are not living in the modern times, because this was always stupid to begin with. It was always rejected by the majority of people, and especially now, people have moved on from
Let me
it.
read her comments, because I feel like, let me read her comments for a second. I'm about to be done with this video because she's just talking nonsense at this point. Last time I was this early, Jean Grey wasn't a wine mom. Okay. More entitled. These are the same people who believe that mankind and history are problematic terms. I wish we all go back to being cool instead of being smart. Marvel Rivals showed everyone how the X-Men are supposed to be awesome. Why can't Insomniac get that right? The funny thing about this comment is that some of the people that play Marvel Rivals don't even agree the X-Men are done right in Marvel Rivals. So this is a crazy statement. Ironically, they're being incredibly sexist. Are they? The rage is justified. What on earth are they thinking? Why is everyone trying to destroy X-Men? What are y'all talking about? Who is destroying the X-Men? What are these comments? Like, who is destroying the X-Men? What? Y'all in these comments, don't let her make what she's saying is invalid. Stop. No. Looks like they just put lipstick on Gambit. What? Yo. Does she have anything else important to say?
Where people don't even want to tolerate this stuff because gameplay I like, but I do feel like you're really excited of it. You know, I saw aspects of the gameplay I like, but I do feel like they're really, really overemphasizing the blood, and I feel like the blood is becoming...
I'm not even gonna look it up. It's no point. It's no freaking point. It's no point. They're overemphasizing the blood. Wolverine, the dude that has claws come out his hand, and literally cuts people's bodies up. You think it's over? Yeah, I'm done.
More emphasized than any other aspect of the game, and I feel like they're overdoing it on that part.
Insomniac has even made a feature in the game where you can turn off the blood or the amount of blood. They have made a feature, so if it's really a problem, you can turn it off. Are we serious right now? Are we serious?
But listen.
Yeah, I'm done. This video, no. I'm done. There's no way.
I am done with putting up with this kind of stuff.
And I'm done with people like you that just say you know everything but really don't know nothing at all. Like, oh my god. Like, they literally said they added a feature where you can turn off the amount of blood you want in the game. Like, if like that's, you are just nitpicking now. Like, you're just nitpicking now at this point. Like, I'm done. This video was pretty insane. It was really a bunch of nothing. She's complaining about the look of Jean Grey, which Jean Grey looks fine. It doesn't affect any. Jean Grey's looks is not going to affect the story. I'm pretty sure she's eventually going to get more sexy and get her eventual cool outfit whenever they do the X-Men. Mary Jane looks fine in the other games. There was nothing wrong with Marvel Spider-Man 2's gameplay. The story may not have been the best at times, but it still has some really great moments. She says there's no X-Men media, but I mean, you have X-Men 97, Deadpool and Wolverine. New Mutants wasn't the best or the greatest, but that was media that we had. So I don't know where this no media come from. The MCU basically has been talking about mutants for a minute, a couple of things now. So I don't know where this no media of X-Men is coming from. The gameplay is fine. The gameplay of the game is fine. Team X is an actual team. Google is free. You can look it up. Team X is actually a team, and Team X was technically way before the X-Men. It was way before the X-Men. Wolverine was on Team X before the X-Men. So I don't know what she's talking about. No, everything she said was pretty much irrelevant. And nowhere did it say Team X was replacing the X-Men, so I don't know where that came from. This is just nonsense. But, you know, whatever. This video was pretty insane, but, you know, what can you do? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It got a little long. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.